What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 2 of the WrestleMania 31 predictions with me and Jimmy over there, where he's my co-host on the Spitting Venom Radio podcast, or one of them. The actual podcast is actually hosted by Ron, but we're doing a prediction episode for the WrestleMania 31, which is on this Sunday. And I know there was a kind of a abrupt end to part 1, but so we had some technical difficulties, so we just decided from there that we're going to just start over from not start the whole prediction over, but we're going to jump into the next match from here, which the next match on the card, or at least we don't know what the card's going to look like, but on our card is the Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, or Bray Wyatt versus the Undertaker.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
So I know that Jimmy is a big Undertaker. Well, he's a big Bray Wyatt fan. I don't know how he feels actually about the Undertaker. Probably a big fan of the Undertaker too.
I absolutely love the Dead Man. Phenomenal guy.
I don't know anyone that really isn't a fan of the Undertaker. So if you're
That's a fair point.
I mean, if you're a fan of pro wrestling, I think you're a fan of the Phenom, right?
The Dead Man.
He's probably the biggest, one of the most important names I would think that's still around in WWE. But he definitely has longevity. He's been around probably longer than anybody that's there right now. It's on the active roster, right? No one's been around as long as he has. So
Nope.
Even though he only wrestles once a year now, but who cares about that?
That's all. Then he comes out with a DVD. I mean, it works, all right?
So Jimmy, now what do you think about Bray Wyatt versus the Undertaker? You said,
I think that it's a phenomenal opportunity for Bray Wyatt. I love Bray. I love his promos. I know that you are not the biggest fan of Bray Wyatt's promos, but I love his promos. I think they're great. He doesn't miss a beat. I think he's really good. And I think it's a phenomenal opportunity to put Bray Wyatt over.
Well, as you alluded to just now, I'm not a fan of Bray Wyatt's promos or Bray Wyatt very much in general.
His promos are awesome.
I think that he rambles on a lot, and I think that he very much doesn't make any sense when he's talking.
But that's like the whole point. Like, he's this weird, strange, crazy, fucking elusive, like, just character that just like, that's his thing. That's what he does. I think it's great. And he's like if the Ultimate Warrior didn't do so much cocaine and just did like mushrooms, that's Bray Wyatt.
Fair point, I guess. But I'm drinking a whiskey sour now, by the way.
Yeah.
So Bray Wyatt versus the Undertaker is a big opportunity for Bray Wyatt. But should Undertaker lost at last year's WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar broke the streak. What purpose does Undertaker serve anymore at WrestleMania?
I think that it's not so much a purpose of what does the Undertaker serve. I think it's having that staple of like.
So you think Undertaker is?
You can't really have a WrestleMania. I mean, one day there will be a WrestleMania without the Dead Man, without the Undertaker. I mean, we all know, obviously, one day there will be. But I think at this point, the Undertaker's got a good thing going. I mean, he only really has to wrestle once a year. So,
but his whole thing for a long time has been the streak, right? I mean, that's why he kept coming back. I feel like people were challenging the streak. Is the Undertaker still an attraction without the streak?
I think he is. I think there's so much respect for that guy. There's so much I think people just have so much passion for him that it doesn't even matter. That I know, like for me, speaking like from a fan's point of view, I think that I don't care that the streak is broken. I don't care. I just want to see him. I want to see him in action. I want to see. Now it's even more interesting because I want to see what he's going to do next. I want to see where the WWE is going to take this. You know, are they going to try to keep him winning again? Or are they going to go, like my personal
I mean,
opinion?
he can't have much longer to go, right? I mean, he's at towards the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
So they can't start a new streak, because new streak would only go 1 or 2 years. So it's not like
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to start a new streak, but I'm just saying, like, there's going to come a time where the Undertaker will retire. It might
right,
be
and it's
this
coming
year.
sooner later than later. I think next year is the year because it's
I
going to be
mean,
in
I'm just
Texas.
saying, it could be any year. It could be this year, next year. It could be WrestleMania 35. I don't know,
I
but
have a
I'm saying,
prediction that it's going to be next year, and I have a prediction against who it's going to be.
oh, well,
Well, as we
I
know that, you know, we'll talk about it later.
I just
Leave them
think
in
that
suspense.
there will be a time he's done. I think for right now, I think speaking of this match in particular, I think that I don't think it's going to be it's not come on, it's not going to be a fucking clean win. It's not. I think somebody is going to, and my prediction is going to be Brock or Paul Heyman or somebody is going to have something to do with this match. And
I don't know
it's
about that. I think it's
I
not.
don't know because I mean, come on, you
It's
got to think Brock
WrestleMania. They don't.
Lesnar.
Why would Brock get involved in this? He's already
I
in
know,
the
I
main
get it,
event.
I get
I
it.
don't
Look,
think that's going to happen.
I'm just thinking outside the box here because Brock broke the big streak and now Taker's back. I don't feel like they're just going to leave that alone and they're just not going to touch that at all. I feel like something is going to
That is
happen.
weird to me that they've been throughout the entire thing. They've been kind of leaving the streak alone. Like they haven't
Yeah,
really
I
touched
mean,
on
maybe I don't
Brock
know.
breaking
Maybe
the streak.
hey, maybe there's a point to that. Maybe they're trying to get rid of the streak. Maybe they don't want nobody to think about it. Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be a clean fucking victory. I don't think it's going to be Undertaker wins, Bray Wyatt wins. I think it's going to be maybe Bray might zap and get a bunch of weapons and a chair or something and fuck him up and get disqualified. Something's going to happen. It's not going to be this clean fucking victory where it's just 1, 2, 3. That's it. It's not going to work like that.
It's
I
interesting.
guarantee you. I guarantee you, it's not going to just 1, 2, 3. This person wins. They can't be.
I do
There's
have an
no.
interest in this match. I'm interested in seeing what happens because with the streak broken, I'm interested in seeing what happens to the Undertaker over the next year. The Undertaker, I mean, I'm predicting that next year is Undertaker's last year, and I'm predicting that his last match is going to be next year, not last year. Last year already happened. But for this year, who do you predict is going to take the win? Bray Wyatt or The Undertaker?
I really think it's going to end in a disqualification. I think.
No. Where
I
does it
think.
go from there? You
I
end the
think it's.
disqualification if
I
there's a.
think Bray. I think Bray's going to zap out and get disqualified.
You don't
Come
think it's
on.
gonna.
What else are they going to do?
But what does it? I mean, disqualifications happen when there's something that's coming later. What's going to
Yeah,
happen after WrestleMania then? Does Undertaker go away again?
I don't think. Well, he always goes away. I don't think that it's just going to be this clean victory. There's no way it could just be this clean victory. Who do you think is going to go over?
I mean, I think they're going to give Undertaker his redemption this year. I think Bray Wyatt's not a big enough name to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker at WrestleMania made sense. I wasn't happy about it when it first happened. What did you think about when Brock beat The Undertaker?
I think they ended the match too soon, but I know why they ended the match too soon. Therefore, it's understandable. But
Did you think
I,
the streak should have been broken by Brock Lesnar, or at all?
At all, yes, of course. I mean, we all knew it was coming sooner or fucking later. But
why? Why does it have to happen? Why not just let him retire
because
with
the man
the
can't
streak?
live forever.
He can retire with the streak intact.
I mean, yeah, he could, but I feel like we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew one day the streak was going to be broken. Now, by who?
Should have been Brock Lesnar.
I feel. Look, I love.
Brock. Stop paying attention to whatever you're paying attention to and listen to this.
This shit's pissing me off. Fucking Solitaire told me there was no more possible moves.
Well, you're not playing Solitaire. You're doing a video,
yes,
a
I
preview.
know, Rick. Okay, I can multitask.
Obviously not, because you stopped talking in the middle of a sentence.
Well, because shut up. I think that yeah, obviously the streak would have been broken sooner or later, but against Brock, I feel like, look, I love Brock Lesnar. God, he's a beast, dude. I fucking love him. But I think that there were a lot more. How do I say this? There were more qualified people to I think that could have done it.
But would it have made sense if somebody else did it? Like, it makes sense from a story perspective. It makes sense that Brock Lesnar breaks the streak. He's a beast.
Know what the story's going to be.
But I'm saying, going into it, look at it realistically. Look at it from a UFC standpoint. Brock is UFC, and he's going against 45, 50-year-old Undertaker, who's broken down. Everybody's seen him broken down, and he's old, and Brock is like still a beast. What year, in what century? It's kind of like Batman versus Superman. Why would Batman win? Why would Batman beat Superman? Superman's invincible. Brock Lesnar is invincible, in my opinion. Like, there's no, is there anybody better than or stronger than or? Like,
I mean, no. Fuck, like I told you, he's a fucking beast, dude. That man is just unstoppable. Look, I get it. I'm not saying Brock shouldn't have done it. I mean, I just think that maybe it would have been more special if there were other people. There is like bring back a bigger like name as like a more old school name.
I mean, the only person before it happened, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to happen at all. Or John Cena did it. I think if you had John Cena break the streak, I was okay with that. I'm not a big John Cena fan, do not get me wrong. But John Cena is the guy, and he just like, it's kind of like, to me, breaking the streak to me is retiring Ric Flair, like Shawn Michaels did.
Yeah, I was at that.
You were at the show?
WrestleMania 24, yeah, I was there.
Cool. But it's similar to me, in that, you can't just have, and I thought that it was an opportunity, I was educated at that time, because I argued that's an opportunity, retiring Ric Flair is an opportunity to put somebody over. But you can't give
Shawn Michaels, you don't really need to be put over.
The thing is, you can't give just anybody that kind of rub, right? Because who knows where they're going to be at, and
that was the thing with Brock. I mean, nobody knew he was here 1 minute, gone the next. Here, gone the next. Nobody knew.
I think that was a problem. I don't think the problem with Undertaker losing the streak to Brock Lesnar was Brock Lesnar. I think the problem is what happened afterwards. Is that Brock Lesnar just disappeared, like the Undertaker does every year, and there was nothing to, nothing afterwards. There should have been,
It felt like such 20-plus years in the making, and I get it. The Undertaker got fucking injured, and they had to end the match sooner than, I guess, what they had originally allotted that match for. But it just seemed like there wasn't enough build-up. There wasn't enough substance to that match. It just seemed like it was there, and then boom, it was gone. Mm-hmm. And then nobody talked about it. And then, I mean, it was here, a couple weeks after that, people talking about breaking the streak, but then Brock was gone, and then it was like, it all happened so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I don't.
I mean, to me, if Brock was going to break the streak, he should have immediately have been on the hunt for the championship. And there was a big period of time where he was just gone for a while, like between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, which is when he actually won the title against John Cena. There was nothing there. And I understand that maybe the plan was to have Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam because Daniel Bryan got injured himself. And, which I think would have been fantastic if they would have went with that. But in place of Daniel Bryan, they had to go with the next big thing, which I guess was John Cena, right? So it's kind of disappointing that couldn't have happened, and still isn't going to happen. Daniel Bryan versus Brock. Hopefully, maybe with Brock signing a new deal now, we'll see Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar sometime.
Well,
in the future.
Speaking of which, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I read somewhere on like Fox Sports or something that Brock resigned from the WWE.
Re-signed or resigned?
Resigned.
He re-signed. He didn't resign. He's still with the WWE. He re-signed a deal.
Oh, okay.
He's with the WWE for 3 more years. Well, a multi-year deal.
He definitely wasn't going back to UFC.
He is not going. He's staying with WWE.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So.
I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were saying that they were watching something on like ESPN, and ESPN was talking about Brock Lesnar.
Brock was on. They did interviews with, I think, brock and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
ESPN did. With Coach.
Well, I didn't really watch. Oh, that guy. I didn't really watch it. I
didn't watch it either. I just heard about it on the websites and stuff.
Okay.
But I'll talk about what my idea for for the build up to WrestleMania this year was before. But anyway, Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. You're going with a DQ. You already said a DQ. You think it's going to be DQ?
I'm sorry. You make a great point with The Undertaker. Boom, going to strike again. He's going to get his redemption. The dead man is going to, he's going to do the whole hand with the knee and the. And I think that'll be amazing. My pants will be off when he does that. But I know for a fact Bray Wyatt will not beat The Undertaker. I know that for a fact. There's no way that will happen.
I don't see it happening myself.
I think one of two things. Bray's going to get disqualified, Taker's going to win, or Taker's just going to fucking tombstone that motherfucker and win.
I think that's going to happen.
Okay, well, I'm predicting a DQ, and then Taker's going to he's going to pop back up and end up getting Bray, tombstoning him, and he's still going to do. We all know this year he would do the hand with the and that would definitely happen. But I think it's going to be from a DQ.
I would have liked to have seen. This is just an idea that I had was Bray Wyatt. And because Sting was previously rumored to have, we'll talk about Sting a little bit, but he was rumored to have been coming in for a while, right? And then I would have liked to have seen the Wyatt family versus the Undertaker and Sting, because both of them, Undertaker and Sting, were older, and Bray Wyatt and I think they could have teamed up together rather than them, because people want to see Undertaker versus Sting, which is my prediction actually for next year. Is Sting and him are going to both retire at the same time, and it's going to be that's their last match, for Undertaker versus Sting. That's my prediction for next year. But I think that it would have been interesting to have seen them team up together, and because Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker was also rumored for months ahead of time. So I would have liked to have seen them change that a little bit, because Undertaker was rumored to have been injured and all that kind of stuff, and he was all decrepit and whatnot, which I think was bullshit anyway. But
decrepit? I wouldn't say he's decrepit.
But he was there was pictures of him on the internet and stuff like that where he looked all fucked up and whatever. But I would have liked to have seen
The only pictures I saw of him was when he God forbid my man had a fucking gray goatee. God damn, leave the man alone. He's fucking 50-something years old. Let him have a gray goatee if he wants. Like, yeah, we all know he shaves it or he dyes it. We all know he dyes his hair and shit. Like, he gets his little spray tan going on. He's perfect. The Undertaker's perfect. He doesn't even have to wipe his ass when he shits. He shits and his ass is just instantly clean. Like
Michelle McCool's going to be cleaning up his stuff soon.
He's
going to be like changing Undertaker's diapers and stuff.
Oh, he will not have to change his diaper. His diapers will magically disappear, and then new ones will be put on.
Okay.
Like people want to make all this big deal over my man being somewhere having a gray beard. Like, yeah, he's off. He knows he doesn't have to come back right now. He's doing his thing. He's being a regular human being. He's not being the Undertaker. He's being Mark Calloway. He's doing his thing. Leave the fucking
Mark Calloway? Who is that? Who is Mark Calloway?
He's Mark. Leave Mark alone. Leave him alone!
So we're going to move on from Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. I think we've talked about that ad nauseum. And we're going to talk about Sting versus Triple H.